Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. My bad for the little 20 seconds of confusion. It's let me turn this off. It's not letting me post this to Twitter. But no worries, no worries. So here we go. Welcome, Ahmadi Fact Check blog. In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. And we're about to go. We're about to run it up. About to run up. Talk about these guys. You know, what about these guys? You know what I mean? This is who we're talking about today. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. I wrote an entire essay. I wrote like an 8-page review, double spaced on this, so you can go check it out. I've been doing these videos where I review like an Qadiani MD video, like I got some more coming up. Musli Shambur, this guy knows nothing. He knows nothing, and I'm telling you, the biggest thing here is Ahmadis lack scholarship. These guys are not any level of scholarship. No, 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 no. All they know is go and say this, go and say that, go and make these arguments. They're not investigative researchers. They don't even have the capacity to do any of that, And that's why I always screen people. Where do you work at? What do you do? I'm not going to talk to the taxi cab driver about these complex issues, who didn't go to college and didn't learn how to go through paperwork, who didn't learn how to compare books against each other, who doesn't have the capacity or the capability to do any of that. So here we go. Here we go. What was this debate about? So we all know David Wood. If you don't know David Wood, let me tell you about some David Wood real quick. You guys see him there in the top left? David Wood has a soft spot for these Qadiani Ahmadis. He does. Because of Nabil. Because he bullied Nabil and made him a Christian. He scared Nabil. Remember, he was in a hotel room with him. Nabil was 18. First time Nabil was away from home. 18 years old, and he's got a hotel room with a psychopath, a guy who tried to kill his dad with an axe. Coward, a total coward. Who is a 20-year-old man and goes and attacks a 50-plus-year-old person with an axe? A coward, an absolute coward does that. And then the only reason he's Christian is because he claimed to be mentally crazy, and then he's like, oh, I went Christian, so they dropped they let him out. They let him out early. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. They're not letting no brown or black people do any of that. Period. And then David Wood, he came up. He never worked no job, man. He's not the type to work a job, bro. Listen, bro, I always judge people based on that. Does this person look like they could do some manual labor? You know what I mean? If you can't do manual labor, I don't accept the inside a house job, especially in your youth. You got to work outside, bro. You got to prove that you're able and man enough to work outside, or it doesn't count. It doesn't count. So anyways, and as for my record, you can look it up, man. You can look at my record, man. We outside, bro. I've been outside. Now in my 30s and 40s, we then came inside. But normally we outside, G. So let's just jump right into this. So here's the first note I'm gonna make. Tahir Nasser and these guys show up, right, and they act like they know what they're talking about or something like that. First off, Tahir Nasser and Taha Nasser are unqualified. They haven't shown anything. They haven't shown any academic ability, any academic rigor. There's just nothing. Can we get a writing sample? And writing for the Ahmadiyya movement doesn't count because they're making people into something. So look, the first thing that they didn't mention is the Marham-i-Eisa. Who knows what that is? If you don't know what that is, then you're severely behind, right? It's an ointment that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad created, or an Ahmadi created. Look, here's the link. Okay, so look up the Marham-i-Eisa. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said he invented this ointment, or an Ahmadi invented this ointment under divine guidance, and it'll heal your wounds. Well, how come the British government didn't use it? How come it wasn't used in World War I? Don't they need an ointment to get rid of scars and pain? Well, it's not pain, it's scarring and the pain that comes with it. Right? So what's this Marham-i-Eisa? How come it wasn't discussed? Instead, Tahir Nasser and Taha Nasser, you know what they were discussing? Aloes and myrrh. what the Bible says, which we don't accept. And they don't accept. They accept Marham-i-Eisa. They didn't mention it not a single time. Bunch of cowards, if you ask me. Bunch of fake people. How would you not say this to the Christians? This is your belief, right? Maybe because as doctors, they're embarrassed by it, by the Marham-i-Eisa. They know it's a scam. It's a fraud. It's a total fraud, right? So that's the story with the Marham-i-Eisa. They didn't mention it. All right. It should have been mentioned if they're being fair and honest. And then check this out. The name Yuz Asaf was never uttered. How does that happen? How does that happen? You're presenting your belief that Isa naozobillah died in India, in Kashmir. They said the Kashmir Valley, but they didn't mention Yuz Asaf. Why? Because these guys are liars. These guys are fraudsters. They're not even presenting their belief properly because they're embarrassed by it. You know, Purim used to say, you don't tell them about Jesus in India until after they convert. Then you tell them. You know, you don't tell them on the first day. Why not? You need, because he's trying to convince. See, Purim and all these guys are convincers. They're trying to convince someone, whereas I'm not. I don't care. I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. Believe it, don't. You know, God will judge you. Allah will judge you. You know, he'll ask you, did someone give you the information? Was there a website that you went to that laid it all out in easy to read English for you to understand? Was there? Oh, there was. And you went there and you read it and you still didn't get it? Well, Allah allows you to make your own choices. So you made the choice. So they weren't man enough to say Yuz Asaf. They weren't man enough to say there's someone else buried there called Sayyid Nasid Uddin, who's a 12er Shia. Not a 12, he's a 12er Shia? Some type of Sufi Shia. Why is he buried there? You see? So, okay, let's see what else. Let's see what else is okay. And then what about the Gospel of Barnabas? These guys talked about the substitution theory. They weren't man enough to admit that the Gospel of Barnabas the substitution theory is in the Gospel of Barnabas. So it's a Christian source. So these are the two possible outcomes of what happened. He was either never on the cross, like the Quran says, al-Islam. Isa al-Islam was never touched, and someone else, maybe maybe it was someone else. It was made to appear as such. Read chapter 5, verse 1, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You got to read that whole context. It talks about the Last Supper. It sort of hints at the substitution theory. Someone's going to get punished like no one else has ever been punished before. Maybe that, we don't know. You know, some things in Islam we don't know. We just leave it. We just leave it at that. You know, the universe in the galaxy, we don't know. We don't know how it was created. We know what Allah told us, but the Big Bang, you don't need a Big Bang. Allah don't need a Big Bang to create a universe. He just says be and it be. You know. So anyhow, they didn't mention that and Mirza Ghulam Ahmad acknowledged this. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad in Jesus in India and other books acknowledged that the Gospel of Barnabas says Isa al-Islam was never even on the cross. So that begs the question: did Christians steal it from Muslims? Because we track the substitution theory to is it Abu Dawud? Is it Abu Dawud like a tafsir? It's all on the blog. It's all on the blog. Check it out. We don't know if because this Gospel of Barnabas, we don't know when it was written. It could have been written after the Islamic sources came to Europe. We don't know, right? Anyhow, we'll leave that as it is. They didn't touch any of that. They didn't touch any of it. So okay, all right. Let's see what else. And then Umar. So I thought he was like a psychologist, and then someone corrected me and said no, he's a psychiatrist. Doesn't matter. You're not qualified. In this whole debate, Omar Naser has not qualified to have this conversation. So anyhow, check this out. Umar, he quotes Deuteronomy 21, the Torah. And you know why Muslims don't believe that Isa al-Islam was even on the cross? Because that's the Torah said anyone on the cross is an accursed. Anyone hung from a tree is accursed. So Muslims never believed it. Okay? But Ahmadis do. So Ahmadis believe that Isa al-Islam naozobillah was on the cross. So Ahmadis, and this came up in the debate. Ahmadis believe that Isa al-Islam is accursed, naozobillah, because they believe he was actually on the cross. So that's how ridiculous this belief is. And then Umar had the nerve to accuse the Christians of it. Oh, you're making Jesus al-Islam an accursed person. Well, so are you. Both of them are. Both of you guys are. It's Islam that says he was never on the cross. He was never hung. Salabuhu. He was never hung. He. Okay? So, all right. Let's see what else. Okay, so at the 106 timestamp, uh, Tahir Nasser. Tahir Nasser is an interesting one, man. That guy's got a lot of nerve, a lot of ego, and you can just tell just by him talking a little bit. He starts to argue that it's the Quranic position that Isa al-Islam survived the crucifixion. What a lie! What a lie, bro! What a lie! So Muslims were misguided all these years. You see the implication? He's saying Muslims were misguided for over 1,300 years, and MG came and solved it. How ridiculous is that, man? Okay, let's see what else. Oh, this is an interesting one. At the 208:49 timestamp, and I don't know if this is a blunder or he's just dumb, right? But at okay, here we go. He says that Adam alayhis salam was also born a virgin, and I posted on Twitter. What? What is he talking about? Adam was not born of a virgin. He was born, just Allah made him, you know, and look up the details. I think Allah said he created everyone out of water, right? And in the hadith, it says that Eve was created from a rib of Adam, sort of like the Jewish Christian belief. Look it up. It's in the hadith. I can't remember if Mirza Ghulam Ahmad commented on this. He might have. It's on the blog. Just look up rib, right? Anyhow, Tahir Nasser, Adam was born of a virgin. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He was just created by Allah, you know. And then some of the women of Jannah, Allah says they've never been birthed. They've not been created yet. No one's ever touched them. So Allah has creations that didn't go through like a human body to be created, right? You don't need to go through the human body to be created. Allah can do anything. Okay, He's Qadir, right? Or Qadir. I think it's Qadir, right? Anyhow, look up chapter 2, verse 106, the last word. Allah has power over everything. Everything. Allah has power. Okay? So it seems like Ahmadis take this away from him. All right, let's see what else. Okay, then look. These guys mentioned a Hindu book, which is hilarious. They mentioned the Bhavishya Purana. And oh, look, I even got the check it out. These guys had the nerve to say, look, in the 1st century, Isa al-Islam was mentioned in this book that's 2,000 years old, like a bunch of years older than Isa al-Islam. How was Isa al-Islam mentioned? Okay, so we looked this up. I looked it all up. And Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, I have not found Mirza Ghulam Ahmad quoting this source, the Bhavishya Purana. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad did not quote it. I haven't found it. Show me. It's not in Jesus in India. And Jesus in India is a mistranslation. It's Masih in Hindustan, the Messiah in India, not Jesus in India. Anyhow, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad didn't quote it. There's that dude. So look, you got to be careful of these professors in other countries too. There was that professor Fida Husnain who tried to use it too, and that dude's a total fraud. Total fraud. They say he was a Muslim. We got to revisit that. But Fida Husnain, he was also saying that Isa al-Islam died in India. Bro, if he was a Muslim, he just left. Because by saying that, you left Islam, brother. You can't say that. Isa al-Islam has not died yet. Isa al-Islam will be buried in Medina next to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The grave's already there. You know, it's already set. It's a set thing, man. Okay, so to start saying that that Isa al-Islam died in Sarinagar, bro, it's kufr, pure kufr. So they had the nerve to quote this and got caught on it. They totally got caught out. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. And let me see what else. So okay, so it was that. Then and I'm just going through my notes here. Here. Look, I'll even pull it up. Here, let me share the screen. I'm just reading off my essay, and there it is. All right, can you guys see it? Yep, and I'm just gonna scroll down to some of my notes. Okay, at 12:44, here's what happened. Um, okay, he talks about and then it came up the Ismaili Shias, and this was from Apostate. This guy, the Ismaili Shias also believe that Isa alayhi salam was put on the cross, naozobillah. But that'll tell you that it's a kufri belief. All right. At 21:49, David Wood comes in. He talks about substitution versus swoon theory, right? Uh, and oh, he's bad. David Wood is bad. Okay. Um, and then he says the Ahmadi viewpoint. Exactly, exactly. Then Tahir Nasser, look, he comes in with Ocam's razor. Tahir Nasser's an idiot. He quotes 4:157. Again, the same old thing that I sort of summarized. And then Omar Naser sort of comes in again. Same thing. Deuteronomy 21. He makes these arguments. Then look, he even quotes Matthew 10-15. It's all there. Check out the blog. Here's where they quote the Bavishia at 56. Apostate starts. He talks about scholarly opinion, et cetera, et cetera. Look, I got it all written with timestamps and all that. Check it out. I basically summarized it in the top. There was also a crossfire round. It was more of the same. This is basically just everything I already explained. I can't believe I wrote all this, honestly. And then the closing remarks. And at the 2 hour mark, he says it that Adam alayhi salam was born of a virgin. Ridiculous, ridiculous, makes no sense. Again, swoon versus substitution, et cetera, et cetera. That's the whole debate. Check it out. I just reviewed it in 15 to 20 minutes. Check out my essay on it in 17 minutes. Done. That's all I got. Ladies and gentlemen, assalamu alaikum and peace out.